All right, so happy Saturday. I am in the studio. I want to let you know, no one else is here with me. No one's been here, but I had to get out of my house because I have two little kiddos who I love dearly and who are making me bananas. And so I had to get out, and I don't know, there was this part of me as I came to the studio this morning that was so hopeful that like there would be someone here, or like it would go back to normal, or like I think I keep like peeking around the corner for like, okay, but tomorrow there's going to be an announcement that everything is okay and everything's going to be better and different. And I'm having to come to the reality and the realization that that is wishful thinking. And so I get here and, set up all my stuff and start to try to get on YouTube Live. And it's been working for the last few days. And of course it doesn't work. And so of course I start screaming expletives and super frustrated. And then, as always, the yoga kind of filtered in and I was like, oh yeah, this is about faith. This is about faith. And I've got to put my faith, which we'll talk about in a second, or the word we're working with this week is Shraddha, the Sanskrit for faith. I've got to put my faith in those that need to be on the class with me today will be there, and those that it wasn't supposed to happen for, it's not going to happen for. And I think in the world of algorithms, it feels like everything is planned and the desired end result is replicable every single time. And what I've been digesting on faith this week is that that's actually not true. I'm not a Christian, but we're coming up on Easter. And if you are a Christian, the Easter story is not necessarily pedestrian. Somebody come back from the dead. There's some really intense themes in there that are not normal for, every day. And so I think whatever your faith is, look to your faith, because even if you don't have a faith, if you have a faith in Carl Sagan, there's a lot of, wild stuff there too. Faith is not predictable. Putting our faith in something does not mean you get a perfect algorithm and you get this perfect desired end result. And as much as I love goals, I think that's what I'm starting to receive from this whole experience, is that maybe I need to let go of the desired end result. So one of the teachers that I follow, Dr. Douglas Brooks, I highly recommend checking him out. His kind of definition of faith from the lens of Shraddha, which Shraddha is a Sanskrit word. So Sanskrit being the oldest language in the world, if not one of the oldest languages in the world, we can trace words like cœur, which is the French word for heart, back to Shraddha. And so Shraddha implies, from his lens, and I take this on as well, that faith is where we place our heart. And matters of the heart, if you've ever been in love, that makes no sense, right? Like, we do crazy shit for love. But faith is where we put our heart, and we put our heart there without clinging to a desired end result. So that is, that's really what I've been working with this week as I came in, and my whole morning just went blah, 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 and this whole last 2 weeks has just been like blah, 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 blah. I've tried to understand, and I've tried to make that logical, and okay, well, where will this lead, and what will the goal be? And maybe there is no goal, maybe it's just pandemonium, and I need to put my heart in my kids and my work and my people, and that be enough. So I'm not I'm not a religious person. I'm deeply spiritual. So if you're a religious person, what's great about that is you have doctrine and symbols and, things to grasp onto that faith. If you're like me and it's a bit more watery with the boundaries, that ends up looking like people. That ends up looking like hobbies. In my yoga practice, these are the things I put my heart into and my faith into. without clinging to an end result. So, oddly, we are going to work towards an end result today, which is headstand. And actually, what I'd like to work towards is drop backs from headstand, because a great deal of faith is, the thing that you grapple with faith is fear. I don't want to put my heart into something because I might be disappointed. I might be let down that it doesn't work out the way I want it to, right? And so faith also requires a letting go, and it requires that we're okay with the unknown. And being okay with the unknown is a little bit different than fear, because fear is a lot of times the trying to control the unknown. Not always, but a lot of the times the controlling the unknown. And faith is putting our heart in something where we don't know where it's going. So we're going to do headstand, which I think is such a great analogy for that, that you don't know where you're going. Once you're upside down, you can't see. And unlike the other arm balances and inversions where you can turn your head, you have no agency there. You can't pick your head up and be like, is my elbow in the right place? Like, it's either there or you're going ass over tea kettle. So we're going to work on that. And then if you have a headstand practice, we will put that into drop backs. But this class is really whatever you want to make of it. It's a level 2-3, meaning I make less assumptions about what you don't know. I make assumptions about what you know. So I'm not going to cover certain things. And I'm also going to give less, what am I looking for? Modifications for certain things, but that doesn't mean you don't take modifications. And part of being, a more advanced yogi is taking modifications when you need them. So yeah, that's our thing today, is Shraddha, faith, where we put our heart without knowing where it's going. And while I think that's terrifying, there's also less disappointment in that, that if it doesn't work out the way that I and my one human experience think it's supposed to work out, but I have deep faith in whatever it's supposed to be, I put my heart into whatever it's supposed to be, that's a lot less disappointing than putting my mind on this one thing that if it doesn't work out the exact way I think it's going to, the YouTube doesn't work the exact way I want it to, the world doesn't start turning again the way that I remember it, that's actually more disappointing, right? So any questions, you can unmute yourselves, or comments before we dive in. Thanks for joining with me and rolling with the technology punches. Any questions? No? All right, well, let's do it then. So go ahead, if you don't have a block, you'll want to grab a pillow or a book, something that can get your back up. We're going to start in supported fish. So especially because it's in the morning here, I take it on the lower setting. And then you're placing it right below your scapula and looking to get the head, the hips, and the arms down. So if you're struggling with this, you might bend your knees and place your feet down. And then once you get into the pose, close your eyes. Especially if you are one who's been working from home or using the computer more than normal, maybe take your arms nice and wide, but also like in a Y shape, so up overhead. And just breathe. Breathe up into your heart. Faith is where we put our heart. There's an iconic deity associated with devotion, faith, Hanuman. We'll see depictions of Hanuman with him literally, you know, tearing his heart out of his chest, opening his heart, fully exposed. And so I think faith comes in varying degrees, but can you, in this pose and in your practice today, bare your heart, open your heart, even though you may not know what's coming, the desired end result? Take 2 more breaths here. And on your next inhale, stretch your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, come to a comfortable seated posture. Let your eyes be heavy. Lengthen through your spine. One suggestion I have for this difficult time is to sing, is to chant, that faith in some of the most fascinating, compelling, empowering points in history have been dotted with song. Civil rights movement, Passover, we're coming up on. My daughter's learning all these songs I learned from Hebrew school. And obviously ancient mantra punctuates our experience as human beings, helps us feel from our heart, exist from our heart. Remember that we are more than robots, these computing, thinking beings. So we'll begin with our Anusara mantra chant that calls out or reminds us of our grace. So on your next breath in, fill to the top of your breath. And from your heart, exhale it out. If you're unfamiliar, don't feel comfortable, just listen. Otherwise, join in. Take a deep breath in. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidanandam Murtaye Vishwapanchaya Shantaya Nilambayate Jase. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Inhale for the sound of Om one time. Take a deep breath in, fill up in your heart. And exhale out. Bring your hands to heart center. Bow your chin toward your chest. Set an intention, either that is the same one that you've carried out throughout 2020, or perhaps one around faith. The working definition we have right now is where you place your heart. As you inhale, let your sternum, let your heart rise to your thumbs. As you exhale, let that go. Begin to open the eyes slowly. We're going to make our way to child's pose. If you have a chair or 2 blocks, you might want to work with those. I'm going to show 3 options here. The first is child's pose with elbows to the ground, forearms to the, thumb to the nape of the neck. The second is if you have 2 blocks, You might bring your elbows onto those blocks, drop the thumbs to the back of the heart. If you're near a chair, a bed, an elevated surface, we're going to take our forearms, elbows, I keep calling them forearms, wow, anatomy, triceps to the chair, drop our head down, bring our thumbs back. So we won't be in full child's pose. If you're taking that variation, you're prioritizing the triceps. So go ahead, find one that works for you. Really drag your elbows isometrically back. Try to pull your elbows towards your hip bones. Press your hips towards your heels. And breathe. As you breathe into your heart, fill up. As you breathe out, let go. Take one more breath here. On your next inhale, press down into your forearms. We're going to start to lift up into tabletop pose. If you have your chair or your blocks, just move them out to the sides. And then starting to move through our wrist joints, just rolling around, going in a clockwise circle first. And then changing the direction, going the other way. As you come back through center, press yourself back to a regular child's pose. Reach your right hand back towards your right heel. As you inhale, start to press your hips towards the front of the mat, reaching your left arm back, open up. You can let your hips be behind your knee line for now. Little modified camel, inhale. Exhale, sweeping through, changing left heel, left hand, reaching your right arm up. Big breath in. Exhale, sweeping your right arm back and through. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, sweeping through. Good. One more time. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, sweeping through. Grabbing your heels, walking your knees parallel, bringing your forehead toward your knees. As you inhale, roll up onto the crown of the head, coming in a rabbit's pose. Really pull on your heels. Puff up through the back of your heart. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, walking your hips back to your heels, stretching your arms forward, tucking your toes underneath you. Inhale, lift up, downward facing dog. As you pedal your feet, press your hips back, moving through the body in a way that feels good. One more deep breath in and out. Good. Inhale, press yourself forward, plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees down. Inhale, shift your weight to your left hand, reach your right arm forward. Exhale, take your right hand out to the side, extend your right arm out. Inhale, take your right hand back behind your head. Reach your right elbow to the sky, keep sipping in air. Exhale, tap right elbow behind left wrist. Inhale, reach your right elbow back to the sky. Exhale, square your torso, stretch your right arm out to the side. Inhale, reach your right arm forward, keep your core braced. Exhale, take your right hand down, wrist under shoulder. Other side. Inhale, take your left arm forward. Exhale, take your left arm out. Inhale, take your left hand behind your head, reach your elbow up. Exhale, tap elbow behind wrist. Good. Inhale, reach it back up. Exhale, take your hands down, press your hips back, child's pose. Deep breath in. Steady breath out. Again, reach your right hand back to your right heel. Inhale, lift your hips. Stretch your left arm back. Open your heart. Exhale, back through. Inhale, left hand to heel. Right arm up. Stretch your hips. Open your heart. Exhale, back through. Capture both heels. Start to make a little bit more of a flow. Tuck your chin to your chest. Lift the back of the heart space towards the front of your mat. Rabbit pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower your hips, reach your arms forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Slow, steady breath out. One more deep breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Good. Inhale, shift yourself forward, plank pose. Exhale, pause. Either staying here, lowering to your knees, shift your weight to your left hand. As you inhale, see if you can reach that right arm forward. Exhale, right hand to the side. Inhale, right elbow points up to the sky, maybe on your knees. Exhale, tap, right elbow behind left wrist. Inhale, reach your right elbow up, good Max. Exhale, take your right arm out to the side. Inhale, stretch your right arm forward. Exhale, plant it down, other side. Inhale, reach your left arm forward. Keep your hips level if you can. Exhale, left arm out to the side. Inhale, hand behind the head, lift your torso. Exhale, tap, elbow behind wrist, great job. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, left arm out. Inhale, left arm forward. Exhale, hand to the earth. Press your knees down, press your hips to your heels, child's pose. Let's do it one more time. One breath, one movement. Inhale, right hand to the heel, left arm reaches to the sky. Exhale, sweep forward. Inhale, left hand to heel, right arm up to the sky. Exhale, sweep forward, grabbing both heels, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, lift up rabbit's pose. Exhale, lower your heels, plant your hands. Inhale, downward facing dog. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, plank pose. Either you lower your knees or stay lifted. Inhale, right hand reaches forward. Exhale, right arm out to the side. Inhale, right elbow up. Exhale, tap right elbow behind left wrist. Inhale, lift that arm back up. Exhale, out to the side. Woo! Inhale, right arm forward. Exhale, right hand down, other side. Inhale, left arm forward. Exhale, left arm out. You can always drop to your knees. Inhale, left elbow lifts high. Exhale, left elbow behind right wrist. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, out. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, down. Pike the hips high and back. Very nice job. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. One more deep breath in. Slow breath out. Look forward, inhale. Then travel your feet to the top of the mat as you exhale. Hang out here for a breath. Let your head hang heavy. Release your jaw. On your next inhale, roll up to the top of your mat. Nice work. Hands will come behind us. If this is too much, you can always grab a strap, a tie, a belt, whatever you have around. Interlacing your hands, squeezing the heels of the hands together. Bend your elbows and draw your elbows towards one another. Okay, so squeezing your elbows together, keeping the elbows bent here. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Exhale, Utkatasana. As you take your hips back, use the knuckles on the tailbone to give yourself a little feedback to find that neutral pelvis. Once you've found neutral pelvis, keep squeezing the elbows together and drag the knuckles back. Breathe here. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, broadening through the heart, leading from the heart. Inhale. Exhale, fold over your legs, keep the bind. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your elbows and swing your knuckles over to the left hip as you squeeze your elbows together, stay in that halfway lift. Good, inhale, shift your weight to your left foot. Give your left knee more weight, or your left foot more weight. Bend your left knee. Scoop your right heel up to your butt cheek. Pause. And just hold here. Feeling that balance, feeling how your left elbow wants to wing out. Squeeze your elbows together. And then with great control, keeping your heart open, putting your faith in that you won't eat it, step it back. Warrior two. Nice job. Nice job. So hands are at the left hip. Elbows are squeezing in, chest is broadening, left knee is bending. Good, inhale, take a little lean back, look up and over that left shoulder. Exhale, stay. Inhale, return warrior two with the arms down. Exhale, take it all the way to the back of the mat. Release your arms, high crescent. Good. All right, here's where the Hanuman leap of faith comes in. Normally we leap forward, we probably come into warrior three, something like that, but faith is backwards. We do things without knowing the end. So we're gonna go backwards. So using the strength of your right leg, the power of your right leg, you're gonna try to kick off and stand at the back of the mat on your left leg. Yeah. So right leg is lifted, left leg takes the weight. Yes, Max, good. Pause here. Take your hands to your hips. 80 duck, you can take your right leg out. And then see if without using your hands, you can place it on the inner left thigh. Vrikshasana, tree pose. If not, take it to the calf. Maybe take the toes to the floor, whatever works for you. Pause here. Hands can stay at the hips, they can come to heart. Maybe we play around with a little bit more of our faith, closing the eyes. Placing our heart in whatever happens. Maybe that means you fall over, maybe you hold it, maybe you let go of the end result. Inhale here. Exhale, place that right foot next to your left, crisscrossing at the ankles. Inhale, and as you exhale, swan dive over the legs. Forward folding, stretching through your left hip flexor or left glute. I don't even have anatomy today. It's all gone. I gotta put my faith in something. The skills are gone. Nice deep breath in and out. Good, you're gonna walk your hands over towards the left side of the mat as you come up onto the balls of your feet to spin yourself around. Placing your palms on the mat, stepping your feet back, plank pose. All right, now I could make up a funny, cute little thing. We're just gonna do push-ups. Okay, we're gonna do 5 of them. So you can lower to your knees or you can stay up on your hands. These are not chaturangas because we're gonna exhale, come to our belly and inhale, press back up. Exhale, come to our belly and inhale, press back up. Go for 3, 2, and 1. Press your hips high and back, downward facing dog. Nice job. Deep breath in. Steady breath out. Look forward, inhale. Jump or step your feet to the top of your mat as you exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, hands to heart. I'm going to switch to the other side so you don't stare at my butt. You stay where you are. Take your hands, interlace them behind your sacrum. Grab the opposite thumb on top, the non-dominant clasp. Have your elbows bent, squeeze your elbows together, broaden through your chest. Inhale here. Exhale, Utkatasana with the legs, and then use the knuckles to navigate a neutral spine. Good, inhale here. Exhale, straighten your arms. Present from your heart. Lead from your heart, but then don't forget your core. So pull your belly in, hug to your midline. What is that analogy for you in your life? Maybe there isn't one. Start to take your hands towards your right hip. As you exhale, fold over your legs. So elbows are squeezing in. Inhale, halfway lift. Give a soft bend in your knees. Start to feel your left heel to your left seat. And pausing here, feeling the shake and rumble and roll as you start to reach that leg back. And then stepping it back, warrior two. Great job. Great job, Marta. Hugging the elbows in, pulling into the midline. Pausing here, inhale. As you exhale, lean back, looking up over your right shoulder. Inhale here. Exhale, return, warrior two, release your arms. Spin to the back of the mat as you inhale, high crescent lunge. Stretch through that back hip flexor. So faith is where we put our heart, and it's often a completely blind route. We'll hear the phrase blind faith. So we're going backwards. We've got to put our heart, which is also in the back of our body, into it. So as you press into your front leg, think about the heart space moving back as you jump yourself back, standing on your right leg. Good. Taking the hands to the hips, abducting the left leg so you can place it onto your right leg without touching it. Maybe you need to, no big deal. Finding your Vrikshasana tree pose. Hands can come to heart center, arms can reach overhead, maybe the eyes close. Breathe. One more breath. Detaching the left foot from the right thigh, crossing ankle over ankle, and then forward folding, stretching through your glutes, through your hips. Let your head hang heavy. Inhale here. Exhale. Lift up onto the balls of your feet. You're going to turn towards your right shoulder to uncross the legs. Coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting your palms, stepping your feet back, plank pose. 5 more push-ups. Inhale at the top. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. Inhale, press up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale deeply. Exhale steadily. One more inhale deeply. Exhale steadily. Good, lower to your knees and find either a couple of things you could use here. Paper plates, socks on your hands, or blankets. If you're on carpet, you can still slide. I always say like on a surface, like a laminate surface, but you'll slide on carpet. So if you have something like socks, whatever on your hands, it'll work. And you want them to be side by side. So I'm going to do this facing you so you can see. You'll probably want to do it at the top of the mat, okay? So while everybody gets set up, I'll show the thing. So what we're working on is a deduction, or drawing towards the midline using our chest muscles. So let's first do this without zip props. Take your arms wide and goal post your arms. Okay, inhale here. Exhale, pull your elbows in, try to touch your forearms. Do that 4 more times. Inhale, take your elbows wide. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, you should start to feel these pec muscles. Exhale, engaging, inhale. Exhale, good. One more, inhale. Exhale, good. Inhale, coming back up. Now what you'll notice is your ribs will start to flare. So I want you to do 1 more, and as you set up, draw in towards the midline. So I think faith is empty if you don't have a strong core, family, values, like whatever that core is. So as you do that 1 more time, knit your waist, hug into your midline, and then take that A deduction. Pull your elbows in, draw your arms out. Okay, so just be aware of that as we move into a more slippery surface. So for me, I have to turn my hands out for this, and I definitely will do this from my knees. Some of you will be strong enough to do it from your toes. Hallelujah and congratulations. So 2 options. One is just to slide an arm out and pull in. So you might try that first and see how that feels. Good. The other option is to slide out as you drop down and pull back in. Slide out as you drop down and pull back in. Okay, you're gonna do a set of 10, 5 on each each arm. That was 2 for me. That might just be sliding out and pulling in. If that's not enough, but the push-up is too much, you might slide them simultaneously out and slide them back in. Try to get 5 on each arm. Feel your pec muscles working. Are we feeling our pec muscles? Good, good. You look great. Excellent. And once you're done, just sit back on your heels or take a seat in Sukhasana, and we'll do the next thing. Good work. All right, once I'm still working, I got people working. Work on it, work it, work it, work it. We're gonna do some more core work. So if you're still working through that, finish your set, 5 on each side, and then make your way onto your butts. Okay, so in order to maintain headstand, we have to be able to hold neutral spine upside down. So the closest way we can get to that before we actually do that is laying on our back. So go ahead, come onto your back. If you can't see me, watch first, then do. Hips are gonna be flat on the ground. Legs are gonna be up in the air. Then I'm gonna interlace my hands behind my head, let my head rest back in my hands, and pull my elbows in. I'm gonna think about that abduction we just learned. Then I'm gonna lower my feet only to the point where I can maintain neutral spine. So if I come into this big back bend, my ribs are opening, my core is gone, then I've gone too far. So it might look like this, or you might come all the way over to hover over the mat. So find your spot, and I want you to hold it. Okay, so get into your neutral spine, hands behind the head, elbows pulling in, abducting. Woo, and shake and bake, baby. We're gonna hold here for 10. Squeeze your legs in together, 9. Firm your belly and breathe, 8, 7, 6. Place your heart in that this will eventually end. 5, 4, stay with it. 3, if you're not shaking, lower your legs a bit. 2, woo, and 1, let it go. Oh man, nice job. If you cannot see, you can come back to sit and watch. We're gonna take a couple rounds of back bends now. So bending our knees, placing our feet on the ground, squeezing our shoulder blades together, coming into Seju Bandha as you lift your hips. And then really think about, you might even take your own fist to your sacrum as you drag your tailbone towards your knees, flatten the front of the pelvis. So your quads get a deeper stretch, your low back takes some of the weight off. It might drop your hips a bit, that's okay. And then walk your hands underneath you, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Maybe press the heels of the hands together. Stretch. Take 2 more breaths in your bridge. And unclasp your hands. Lower yourself down. The only thing you want to do is walk your feet slightly wider, drop your knees to touch. Breathe. One more breath. And inhale, toe heel your feet back in. Either repeating bridge or we're going to make our way into wheel. So everyone first take bridge, pinch your shoulder blades together, lift your hips, drag your tailbone long, quads get a stretch. Then inhale, flip your palms towards your shoulders. Keep pressing your hips up. Come to the crown of the head. 80 ducks, so pull your elbows in, just like we did in those push-ups. And then inhale, press your chest up to the ceiling. So whatever back bend you're in, hold for 3. Hold for 2. And 1. Exhale if you're in wheel. Tuck your chin to your chest. Roll yourself down. Again, feet go wide, knees drop in. Breathe. What I find about back bends is they're terrifying. We can't see where we're going. Our legs are behind us instead of in front of us. But we got to have faith to open the heart, to place our heart in them. So we're going to do another back bend, and now I want you to see if you can shorten the distance between your heels and your hips. So that might look like bringing your heels closer to your butt and even sliding your hands under your heels if you're going to stick with bridge, and lifting up, trying to shorten the space between your hamstrings and your calves, or your heels and your glutes. If you're coming into wheel, once you get up there, you might lift to the balls of your feet, walk your hands in, and see if you can press one heel down, then the other, maybe both. Okay, so try something. See if you can shorten the distance between your heels and your seat. Play around. Good, wherever you are, take one more breath. And exhale, slowly come down, nice job. Again, take your feet wide, take your knees in, relax. Now we're gonna put all our things together. So on your next exhale, draw your knees in toward your chest. Start to rock from side to side. And then maybe front to back, picking up a little momentum. And then once you gain enough momentum, your feet are gonna plant, your hips are gonna drop, you're gonna come into Utkatasana chair pose. Good. Take your hands behind you, interlace, dominant clasp, stretch your knuckles back, knit your ribs, pull in towards the midline. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, swing your hands to your left hip. Inhale here. Exhale, hover your belly over your thighs, so like thunderbolt almost. Squeeze your elbows in. Shift your weight to your left foot. Pick your right heel up. See if you can go back into warrior three. Maybe a soft bend in the left knee, maybe straight in the left. Inhale here. Exhale, turn the toes out, step it back, warrior two. Inhale, open up, look over your left shoulder. Exhale, release, spin to the back of the mat. Crescent lunge, inhale here. Fire up through your back leg, get a little bounce in your front, lead with the back of your heart as you inhale. Press back to the back of the mat, Hanuman leap to the back. And then exhale, right foot can come to the inner groin, or peace fingers to your right big toe, left hand to your hip as you come into Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Good. If you have Utthita Hasta, try to drop your right hip. Good, Danny, one more breath. Nice, this time we're gonna cross the ankle over the left knee and sit our hips low, coming into a one-legged chair. Now option here, if you wanna take an arm balance, you can bring your hands down, curl your toes over your tricep, lift your back heel, coming into, I forget the name of it as I'm upside down, but an arm balance. You can stay in the chair. Let's take two more breaths wherever you are. I think it's called flying pigeon, maybe, don't know. And wherever you are, cross that right ankle over your left, forward fold over your legs. If you didn't try that last arm balance and you'd like to try one more, you might spread your knees apart, bring your hands together, keep your ankles crossed for a cross-legged crow. All of these requiring a bit of faith. Spreading across the heart, hugging in towards the midline, leaning into the unknown. One more breath wherever you are. Lift to the balls of your feet. Once you've lowered down, spin towards your left shoulder as you unravel Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, palms to the earth, step your feet back. Plank pose, either stay in plank or lower to your knees. Inhale, right arm out. Exhale, right arm forward. Inhale, hand behind the head, lift the elbow. Exhale, tap your elbow behind your wrist. Inhale, lift up, listen carefully. Exhale, forearm to the ground. Other forearm to the ground. Clasp your hands, pipe your hips, dolphin pose and hug. Abduct your elbows in like you're gonna do one of those push-ups. Tuck your chin to your chest, gently lower your head down. Walk your feet in and pause in this prep. Push your elbows down, squeeze your elbows in, and hug your navel to your spine. One more breath. Exhale, slowly walk your feet back. Lift your head up, inhale. Exhale, lower yourself down, Sphinx pose. Separate the hands, curl the heart through. Good, inhale here. Exhale, left arm sweeps under your right elbow as you roll to your back. And take a back bend of choice. Either bridge pose or wheel. And maybe see if you can shorten the distance. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower down. Walk your feet out. Drop your knees in. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Left arm stays out. Left palm stays up. You're gonna roll over onto your left side. As you pick yourself up and spin into sailor's knot. So right arm reaches forward at the left. Palms will then face down. Chin comes over the right tricep. I'll show from the front view so you can see. And we're getting a nice stretch in our shoulders. So like so. Try to relax your jaw. Breathe. You're all doing excellent work. One more breath. So you inhale, walk yourself back up. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, jumper step to the top of your space. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Go to the other side so I don't moon you. Tap your fingertips behind your heel line, sink your hips, lift your arms, Utkatasana chair pose. Take your arms wide and back, interlace the non-dominant clasp. Drag your tailbone down to neutral, stretch your arms back, inhale. Exhale, hover your thighs, belly over your thighs, shift your weight to your right foot, bend your elbows, bring them to the right hip. Pick your left foot up and then slowly extend into warrior three. Maybe the right knee stays bent, maybe it straightens. Hug your elbows in. Inhale here. Exhale as you open the hips, step it back, warrior two. Inhale, take a lean back, look up over your right shoulder. Exhale, release that, spin to your left foot, right heel comes up, high crescent lunge. Inhale here. Lead with your heart, even though it's the back of your heart as you exhale, high link to the back of the mat. Take the left leg out, either Vrikshasana or peace finger to big toe. Right hand to right hip, stretch that leg long. Breathe. Inhale, bring the leg back in, cross the ankle over the right knee. Sit your hips back, figure four chair. Option to stay here, clamp those toes on your tricep, walk your hands forward, lean your weight forward. Maybe pick the back leg up. Ooh. One more breath wherever you are. Left foot crosses over right foot as you come into your forward fold. And again, option to stay here. Keep the ankles crossed, maybe hands come to the ground, knees to the triceps for a cross-ankled crow. And you're gonna lead once you land your heels back to the earth, towards your right shoulder as you spin your heels around. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms, step your knees back, tabletop, inhale. Exhale, hips to your heels, stretch your arms forward, child pose. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Inhale, rise up to seated. We're going to work into our headstand. So I'm going to give 3 options. Beginner headstand work, middle headstand work. I don't want to say end because it sounds like you're going to die, but you know, you've done it a few times, headstand work. So if you have a chair, which we used earlier for the beginner option, or the first option, that will come in handy. So I'm going to grab my chair. General rule of thumb with inversions is your hips dictate the success of the inversion. So if my hips are not over my shoulders, I might have a strong enough core to maintain that, but the actual structural stability is off. So bone on top of bone is always what we're going for. We're going for hip bones over shoulder bones directly on top of the skull, okay? Reminder that headstand is a misnomer until we're just on our head, because our shoulders in this variation, Salamba Sarvangasana, are there to support us. So we've done work with the adduction, which is pulling our elbows in. We've done a lot of shoulder stability in our plank. Okay, so once you have your hands behind your head, you adduct and you drag the back of the neck and you push the forearms down. That's where your stability comes from. And then instead of just coming into a full like concave protracted shape, here's where the fake comes in. We got to lead with the heart. So presenting the heart forward, and then think back to that whole core lesson. We also have to maintain midline stability. So there's a lot going on. Take it piece by piece. If you're going with the first option, your feet are coming to the chair as you set up. So it looks like this. I get my headstand prep, head to the earth, hugging in towards the back of my head. Maybe I just have one foot on there today, and I just try to tip my hips over my shoulders. Maybe I get both feet, and I work to get my hips over my shoulders. Okay? So that's the first option, is using the chair to get your hips over your shoulders. If headstand has become something regular for you, there's kind of an A and a B. One is just take headstand. If you are still in the practice of headstand, just practice headstand. Try to do 10 breaths, 5 breaths. The other is to start to manipulate the shape in the air. So that's what I'm going to show. Second option, hands down, head down, tuck the toes, lift up. Sorry for the midriff. And then maybe playing around with bending the knees, opening the hips, and lengthening, seeing if I can find more of a stack. Or I play with the legs in the air to see what happens. Okay? So that's the second option. The third option would be to drop back. And if you're going to drop back, that's why we did the back bends. This is where the faith comes into play. If you want to go ahead and start practicing, you can. If you want to watch, so you know like what comes next, what can I work toward, feel free to do that. So drop backs, I'm going to make sure nothing is behind me. I'm going to come up in a headstand. I'm going to repeat bending my knees, opening my hips. Big old leap of faith. As my hips and my heart lead, my feet go back, back, back until they land. Okay, and I'm in something called Viparita Dandasana. And I'll just hang out here. You could jump back over. Not a skill that I have. You can press back up into Dhammirasana. So take a couple moments to just play. And listen to that voice of fear as you play. Listen to its, interesting little voice of telling us, don't go there, don't try it, Faith steps in to say, well, maybe I'll just put my heart in there and try. Nice, Aaron. Can always do the other variation of headstand. However, our peak pose this week is the supported version. So if you like the hands down, nice, Danny, know that that's also always welcome. Beautiful, Rachel. Nice, Kevin. Good, Kevin. Everybody breathe. Nice, Tori. Yes, Danny, couple more breaths. Nice, Marta. I'm not calling your name, I can't see you, but you're doing great. And then once you're done, take child's pose. Give yourself a break. Nice, Max. As you take child's pose, let yourself collect information. What response did I have to that? Was there a fear response there? Was I willing and open-hearted to go there even though I didn't know what the end result might look like? I think we often damn fear and ego, but fear and ego are necessary for survival. If you weren't slightly afraid of headstand, you'd just break your neck. Then the faith steps in to help us give it a try. Take one more breath. Lovely. Go ahead. Rise up to seated. Spin your legs around. Let's take Paschimottanasana. Ooh, seated forward fold. Extending the legs long. Everyone has different preferences whether to take your butt flesh out, butt flesh. Nothing sexier than that. So you can do that. You can tuck it back in. Some people like that. Only thing I really care about is that your middle toes line up with your hip bones for this, and that your toes stay straight up. So notice if they want to go out or in. Can you keep the foot even? And then swing the pubic bone back. So you've got a deeper anterior tilt. You might need to sit up on a blanket or a block for that. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, fold over your legs. Go for sensation instead of perfection. Where do I feel this? Where do I need this? Can you, even in a forward fold, find more lift from the heart, lengthen from the heart? Even when it's dark and we don't know, when we can't see, when we're folded in on ourselves, can we still place our heart, our faith, our Shraddha in something? One more breath. Inhale to rise up. Fire log pose. Take your left ankle, spin it towards the right corner of your mat. Take your right ankle. For me, I cross my ankle slightly in front of my knee. That's more accessible. Some folks will be able to take the ankle across the knee. That's going to be a deeper stretch. For some of us, this is still not accessible. So you might even just walk shin in front of shin. That's perfectly okay. Same thing as Paschimottanasana. Lift your hips, swing your tailbone back. So you've got more of an anterior tilt. Then start to walk your hands forward. We're looking for a stretch in the hips. If you're not getting that, you can come into any variation of pigeon that serves you. And again, even in the forward fold, even as we come into a bit of darkness or shade. Can you express your heart into it, which will actually deepen the experience, deepen the stretch? Broadening through the collarbones, tipping the tailbone back, and then melting deeper into the experience. And one more breath in and out. Inhale, rising back up. Take that right foot, cross it over your left ankle, pull your left toes towards your right hip. You might even need to swing the right foot in front of the left knee for Matsyendrasana. Fish pose, sitting up nice and tall, interlacing the fingers, hugging your chest towards your shin bone, firming down through your right leg, and then either just holding with the palm or crossing the left arm over as you take the right hand back. Keeping the right hand close to the spine so we sit upright instead of lean into the arm as you twist. One more breath. Inhale, pointing your nose forward. Exhale, lean yourself back. And just switch sides. So right leg will come to the bottom. Left ankle will cross over the right shin. Again, options to slide the foot down the leg or in front of the leg. So we take our fire log on the other side. So moving the hips back, finding an anterior tilt. Inhale, sitting nice and tall. Then exhale, forward folding, but continuing to find that expression of heart, putting your faith, your heart into the pose. Even as we drop the head, we close the eyes, we move into darkness, to unfamiliar territory. We move into discomfort. We live in such an instant gratification society. Discomfort is not rewarded. Or if it is, it's celebrated like a badge of honor instead of just something that happens in life. Things are hard. Things are delayed. Not everything works out the way we think it will. Most things won't. Perhaps if we put our heart into it, have a little faith that things are working just the way they should, we lean into the discomfort, we might find something there. One more breath. Inhale to lift yourself back up, crossing your left foot over your right knee. Right foot spins towards your left butt cheek, sitting your hips down, maybe moving the left foot to the other side of the knee, hugging or hooking as you inhale to sit up tall. You might use that interlace trick to draw your chest towards your thigh, then placing the left hand behind you, sitting up nice and tall as you twist. Inhale to come back through center. Exhale, take your legs into Sukhasana. Walk your right hand out to the side, lift your left arm up and over. Just a big, nice lateral bend. Stretch your sideways. Bring your left hip down, roll your heart up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Bend your left elbow, grab the right side of your head. As you exhale, slide your spine back to neutral, or drop your head, your cervical spine, over to the left as you tent up on the right fingertips. Stretch through your neck muscles. Breathe. Inhale, release, left hand to the ground, right arm up by your ear. Exhale, side bend over to the other side. Press into your right hip, lift your sternum towards the ceiling. Inhale deeply. Exhale, bend the right elbow, lift yourself up, drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Inhale, lift up. Just recognize that we left out one of the core on the left side. So if you're feeling really unbalanced, you could go back and do that, or you could lay on your backs. No judgment either way, but we're gonna come on to our backs next. And take happy baby. Drawing the outer edges of the feet into the hands, sacrum to the earth. Maybe a little rock from side to side. Maybe you draw the heels down towards the hips and make more like Supta Baddha Konasana. Finding the stretch that you need to close out your practice. The next pose is Shavasana. So making your space as comfortable as possible for that. If you want one of the blankets under your head, you have two blocks. Sometimes it's nice to place those underneath your wrists to elevate the wrists higher than the heart. So get yourself set up for your most comfortable resting pose. Once you come to your resting pose, especially since so many of us are working from home, it can feel tempting to turn the video off, check the texts. See if instead you can just melt here. Checking text messages, turning the video off, going to the next thing are more of the fear strategy, that I'm not doing enough, that I can control the desired end result. Instead, place your faith in yourself right now. Put your heart in yourself that you deserve rest and a reset. Feel with every exhale, heaviness, groundedness come over your body. Try to unfurrow your brow. Separate your top teeth from your bottom teeth. Let your tongue hang heavy in your mouth. Perhaps this moment in history is inviting us to place our faith in the pause. Perhaps this moment in history is asking us to place our faith in each other. And perhaps this moment in history is asking us to place our faith back in ourselves. On your next inhale, breathe deeply in. And exhale, sigh fully out. Begin to move slowly through your fingers, through your toes. And as you're ready, moving your body mindfully from subtle, minute parts to gross, bigger parts. We're going to make our way to a comfortable seated posture for our meditation, trying to keep the eyes sealed or soft. So if you want to open your eyes, cast them down on one thing. Try to sit with a spreading of the clavicle and opening of your heart. Draw your awareness down to the cave of your heart. Anahata, the unstruck chord. And see if today there's anything whispering or shouting. Place your self here. Where today, tomorrow, through other unsteady times, through good times, is your heart calling to be placed? You might call to mind the image of Hanuman bearing his heart, bearing his chest, or if that's not an icon you're familiar with or an image you're comfortable with, just feel your own collarbones spreading, your own heart exposing. Similar depiction is made of Jesus. Many other religious icons. Cultivate whatever image helps you open your heart a little more. Reminding ourselves that life is not an algorithm. While there are cycles and patterns, there's also disruption and chaos. Ultimately, it's where we place our heart that brings a sense of order. If anything, this current time in history has reminded me is that we are deeply interdependent. We need each other. To place our heart into each other is to place our hearts in ourselves, to have faith in humanity. So we'll close our practice with the sound of Om 3 times, the reminder of our connection, our interdependence. If you don't feel comfortable singing or not in a space where you feel that's available, simply listen to the vibration, placing it at your third eye center. Or if you feel comfortable, join in. Take a deep breath in and a big breath out. Inhale. As you inhale, breathe up into your heart one more time. Exhale out and draw the hands to that space. Bow your chin towards your chest. Seal your practice, any intention, anything you wish to take off of your mat today with you. Inhale to draw the thumbs to the third eye in recognition of each other, of ourselves. Bowing to seal our practice. Namaste. Great work, everyone. Thank you all so much. My name is Shannon. If you have questions about headstand, Shraddha, let me know. Keep practicing.